Hey, what's up you guys? I haven't made a video in like a week, and it's because I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life. I didn't think that I would need to make one of these, because I just assumed that it was obvious. My name is Wolf. I am 21 years old, and I am non-binary. That means that my gender is not strictly man or strictly woman. I have always kind of felt like there was something about me that was different. I knew I was gay when I was a little kid. My parents are gay, and they raised me to understand that it's not a bad thing to be queer. But I've always just kind of felt like something about up here wasn't, I don't want to say like wasn't right, but up here was different from down here, and it was confusing. I spent the better part of my life thinking that I was just really bi, and that I was a tomboy, because when I was a little kid I really only played with boys. I didn't play with Barbies. I had like girly toys, but like I wasn't a girly girl. But as I got older, I got more exposure. I met other queer kids, and my sophomore year I started dating this guy who was a nice guy at the time. He turned out to be an actual raging piece of shit. I fucking hate him. But he stunted my growth as a queer person quite a bit. He was uncomfortable with me talking about being bi. He didn't like it when I so much as glanced at another girl. He was an interesting character, and I was very insecure. It wasn't a healthy relationship. We're not together anymore. It's been like 2 years. But he stunted my growth as a queer person. And when I graduated from high school and I went to college, I had this opportunity to kind of just like be myself and explore who I was as a person. And so I spent the better part of my freshman year of college thinking that I was a trans guy. I started wearing men's clothing. I tried out he, him pronouns, and I tried out they, them pronouns, and it was good for me to figure myself out. I did a lot of introspection, like a lot, and I learned about who I was, and it was good for me. But when I tried to talk to him about it, it didn't go well. There was one time I was like trying on his clothing when he was at work, and he had to come back on his lunch break to get something, and he came in the room and I was like putting his pants on and wearing a button up, and he was like, oh, like, that's kind of weird that you're doing that, it makes me uncomfortable. And I was like, oh no, like I'm just dicking around, like I'm just high as fuck, I promise. I'm not doing what you're thinking. Which of course was a lie. But what are you gonna do when you don't feel safe being queer around your partner? So he shrugged it off and went back to work. And then it was like a month before we broke up, I went to Oregon Country Fair. And right before that, I had cut my hair down to my shoulders because like there was a bunch of like split ends and dead hair, and like really dead hair. So I cut it off. And then I went to Country Fair and I was like, oh, well, like I really want a pixie cut. I like pixie cuts. Like they're not gender specific. socially, you know. So I was like, I'll get a pixie cut and it'll be cute. I'll look cute. I thought I looked cute. Literally all of my friends, my whole family, they all thought that it looked good on me. They were like, oh my gosh, like you look so cute. Like I love your hair. And I felt good. I felt confident. And then I told him and he was not happy about it. On the drive home back to his house, we got into a huge argument. And by argument, I mean him yelling at me and accusing me of being a trigger warning, about to use the T slur. Just skip ahead a couple seconds if you can't handle hearing it. I just wanted to let you guys know. He called me a tranny, accused me of wanting to be a boy, and like, not that there's anything wrong with that, obviously, but like, just the way that it came out of his mouth. He just was like, that's so weird, like, I don't understand why you're not happy being who you are, like, you're a girl, you're a woman, like, all these things. And I was like, I don't feel like that. I don't. I'm definitely not a trans guy. You know, I spent a lot of time thinking about that. I'm definitely not a guy, but I'm not a woman. I might have a vagina and uterus, and I might have XX chromosomes, and I might have breasts, but like, that's not who I am. That's not what I am. Like, you don't understand, but you need to respect it, and he just didn't. And then he just kept yelling at me, and I was crying and crying and crying, and so I was just like, fine, you win. I'm a woman. I'm just confused, like, you were right, like, please, can we just drop it? And so he basically just, like, got what he wanted and won that pointless argument. And then about a month later, I kind of had, like, a psychotic breakdown, and I left him. You know, like, our dog had just died, and I was extremely mentally vulnerable. I didn't feel comfortable talking about my mental illness around him. I couldn't get therapy because I didn't feel comfortable talking about my mental illness in front of him. He shamed me for it. He made me feel bad for having something wrong with my brain. And I just, like, I broke down. I shut down. I don't really remember what happened that day. I just packed up all my shit, and the next conscious memory that I have, I was in my old bedroom at my parents' house, unpacking my stuff, and ignoring calls from him because he was asking where I was and why I wasn't at home, and all in all, he stunted my growth as a queer person, and I guess my subconscious couldn't take it anymore. Couldn't take any of it. It's so long of a list of all the things I couldn't do while I was dating him, so I'm just gonna spare you guys, but he was abusive. Whether it was intentional or not is really not the point, because he was abusive. That's not to say that I didn't say or do things that were abusive, because, you know, I was taught by society to act a certain way in certain situations, and I'm sure that there was plenty of stuff that I said and did as his, at the time, girlfriend that would be considered abuse. So, you know, I'm not trying to make myself out to be this martyr, because I'm not. You know, like, I definitely had a lot of toxic ideology when I was that age. You know, I was like, it was 15 to 19, and so I've grown since then. I'm not that person anymore. I hope that he's not that person anymore, but I highly doubt it. He's kind of trash. But, so, yeah. He stunted my growth, but I spent the last 2 years just kind of, like, getting to know myself and spending more time with people that love me and care about me and support me, and I got another dog, and she is like the light of my life. I don't know what I would do without her. She literally keeps me grounded. Like, I have such a strong connection to her. Like, she is what keeps me on this planet alive. She is so important to me. I have such a huge connection to her. She's everything to me. She was there for me when I didn't have anybody at all, and she was there for me when I was still, like, I'm still trying to figure my shit out. And like my gender dysphoria and all of my, like, everything that I thought I had figured out about my trans identity has kind of just shattered in the last couple of months. There's all these experiences that I didn't think that I would go through, like gender dysphoria, like physical dysphoria in terms of like parts of my body that I don't feel like should be there, in relation to my gender. Like, I'm planning on getting top surgery, and like I didn't used to feel the need to get it. I didn't used to have chest dysphoria. I didn't used to have dysphoria from my menstrual cycle, and all these things just started coming up recently. And like my dog has been there to kind of like be with me when I'm really, 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 really depressed. She's everything to me. But it's 2017. I'm 21 years old, and I am a proud queer baby. I use they, them pronouns only. Only they, them pronouns. I don't use she, her. I don't use he, him. Just, that's what makes me comfortable. That's what I feel like represents who I am and how I should be referred to. So, sexuality, I am pansexual, which is kind of like it's similar to bisexual, except it's a more inclusive term, in that your attraction to people is not determined based on their gender. Like, it really doesn't matter to me if you're a man, a woman, a non-binary person, any mix, neither, something else entirely. Like, I mean, it's important to me because I care about the person that I'm dating, but like, it's not a deal breaker. You know, like, if I meet somebody and I fall in love with them, it's not gonna matter to me that they're a woman, or that they're non-binary, or that they're a man. Cool. I'm non-binary. Yeah, so I'm more attracted to your personality and your morals. And, like, of course, your appearance, you know. So, being attracted to that person is a component that I care about. But it's not like I'm not going to date someone because they're not conventionally attractive. Like, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So, yeah. My attraction is not based on people's gender. Cool. I don't care. You know, you are who you are, and who am I to judge you or tell you what you are or who you are? It's not like a sexuality or a gender thing, but like in terms of like relationships, like I'm both monogamous and polyamorous. I'm capable of both. I am perfectly okay with either one. You know, if my partner is monogamous or wants to be monogamous, that doesn't bother me at all. So, I mean, unless things change, but like, if we're monogamous, we're monogamous. If we're polyamorous or you want to try it out, that's also cool with me. So, I guess that's everything.